My name is Marta Inés Romero. I'm Colombian, and I'm the Secretary General for Christi International, a Catholic peace movement with 78 years of working together for justice and peace. Today, we have been in a process of learning and evaluating a project with the goal of promoting and strengthening capacities of sisters in Kenya, in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and South Sudan on issues of nonviolence, peace building, and trauma healing, and the ways for them to have skills to accompany process of trauma healing for young people and all those affected by violence. It has been a very touching day because we confronted violence with a non-violence approach and methodologies, and those energies that sisters have shown today. More than 21,000 young people trained, more than 1,500 sisters trained from 17 congregations, so it counts a lot for the process of building peace in this region of Africa. Definitely, it is evident that the capacities of religious sisters to act and to train people and to accompany them in their way to build peace, it's a very good approach. So I think it is a successful project, and these more than 21,000 young people trained, and some of them with evidence of changing their attitudes toward life, building social cohesion in their communities, looking at the way to handle and to manage conflicts are evidences that the project has been really very successful for these 2 years. So it gives a lot of hope that it could be a company for a next phase of 3 years. So we are committed as Christi International with those sisters association in the 3 countries to continue with other communities, with other sisters, to keep that commitment in peace building and just peace for the region.
In the Pax Christi organization, I am the co-president, sharing the co-presidency with Bishop Mark Stonje. Pax Christi International's vision and mission is creating cultures of peace, and active non-violence and peace building are part of this. Looking at our world today, there is so much violence, and the solutions seem to be more violent. So we are asking ourselves, do we want to continue in this way, using violent means to address violence? And we are saying no, another way is possible. And therefore, we are trying this new way of creating cultures of peace among communities, and even those communities where violence is evident. For instance, we look at the DRC, that is Congo. We look at places like Myanmar. We look at Russia and Ukraine, and many other parts of the world. Even here in Kenya, in the North Rift, sometimes we see conflicts there, violent conflicts. And people are using violent means to address these conflicts. And when they do this, we are noticing that the situation is not getting better. If anything, that situation is getting worse. If you look at the world, you just need to open a newspaper and see this situation. Even if you listen to narratives of people, when you watch TV or you listen to the radio, you hear these narratives of hopelessness. And even in our country, we are hearing these narratives. Of course, I'm not saying they are the only narratives, but they are the narratives of hope. However, what we are seeing more, and what the children are seeing more, is issues of violence. They are seeing pictures of violence. And what we are asking, can we change this narrative? Can we change this pictures from the children's minds, that children can actually realize there is another world that is peaceful, that there is another world apart from violence. So that's what we are trying to do, because we know it is possible, because research has shown that actually where non-violence has been used, there are better results. And we are very grateful to Conrad Hilton Foundation, because they have come to our aid, helping us to train sisters in active nonviolence and peace building, because we know that sisters do a lot of work in communities, especially with children and young people.
So far we have had a very fruitful collaboration between the association and Pax Christi International in terms of training the sisters to be agents of change in terms of peace building and enhancing active nonviolence. So we had a total of 32 sisters who were trained in Kenya. So we had 16 trained in Nairobi and 16 trained at the coast region. These sisters, after being trained, they reached out to the youth and to the fellow sisters in communities, preaching peace and active nonviolence, supporting the communities, the youth, on solving their conflicts and violence in a way that is peaceful. And this has borne so much fruits. We are just very grateful to Pax Christi, because this program came in very much in time when Kenya was preparing for elections. And Kenya's election has always been one characterized with violence, whereby the youth, in most of the time, are manipulated in participating in violence. But they came to learn on the importance of taking part in a very meaningful, fruitful election process as they exercise their right of democracy. And this partly was a contribution of collaboration between the association and Pax Christi International.
I am Sister Basilisa, a member of the Little Sisters of St. Francis. I work for the Association of Sisterhoods of Kenya, fondly known as AOSK, as the General Secretary, and my work basically is to coordinate the programming at AOSK, supporting the member congregations who are the members of the bigger umbrella body, the AOSK. The sisters who have been trained as TOTs have been very resourceful to congregations. They have brought about the active nonviolence and peace building, and they have been considered as peacemakers. And this has been incorporated in most of the formation programming at different formation houses, because this is where we have the young people coming in to be helped and to be transformed in the terms of their vocations. And we are all called as women religious to be peacemakers. So basically we focus in promoting peace building within our communities where we live, as in our convents as sisters, and also promoting peace building in the communities where we serve the people of God.
I am Divine Gekonge. I am a lecturer in St. Paul's University, teaching peace and conflict studies and history as a subject in education. So I belong to School of Education and Social Sciences. The year 2022, I went to South Sudan and trained the sisters in the subject of peace building in the active non-violence. We were many facilitators, but my thematic concern was peace, conflict, violence, and active non-violence. So in peace, I highlighted how you can tell situations of peace, because normally when we are defining peace, we are saying absence of war. We looked at one in details, and thereafter we came to conflicts. We talked about conflict. We looked at the sources of conflicts, causes of conflicts, different types of conflicts. And the sisters, the participants, they became very much aware of the different types of conflicts we have and the main sources of causes of these conflicts. So after looking at this, we came up to a conclusion that it is good for us to solve conflicts in an nonviolent way. So we came up with ways of solving conflict in nonviolent ways. One of the ways of solving these conflicts is active nonviolence. And in active nonviolence, examples is like now demonstrations, peaceful demonstrations. For instance, people carrying placards, trying to sell out, tell the society, tell the public what they are reading of, without using any kind of force, without using their mouth in a very bad way, but airing their views in an nonviolent way. Immediately after the training, because the sisters, they were really excited, they went to the villages, some went to churches, some went to prisons, some went to military camps. The reports I was receiving, they are wonderful. It has impacted positively.
I'm Sister Mary Atimango, a Sacred Heart sister residing in Juba, South Sudan, founded in Juba in 1954. My experience with the Pax Christi has been very good because these are the people who are touching the lives of the vulnerable, and in that you are able to value human beings as you are. But we have come to learn that conflict is normal, because even within myself I have conflict, with others also I have conflict, but the issue is, how do I handle it? How do I manage it? When I manage this conflict, it is always we come out with the new rules that guide us. Since now we were trained, Pax Christi had shown us the way, we never gave up. We reach even these street children, while there they call them the Torontos, and then the big ones who feel that now they can do anything, they can even kill using panga and other tools. They are called the niggers, and these are the dangerous ones. They can destroy you. They don't value life. The major impact which I have made, like going to these niggers, it is not something easy. It is like training a lion to come to gain the senses, and also in schools where we have trained and they have copied it into syllabus. That means that there is going to be continuation of that, and school is not going to die today or tomorrow. And with this, for me, I am 100% convinced and believe that in some years to come there will be total peace, because as we am training, I train these people and they're also going to be trainers for the rest. So we are going to move.
I'm Sister Sarafina Christopher from the Congregation of the Incarnate Word in the Blessed Sacrament. And I am a Tanzanian, a missionary living in Kenya and working in Kenya. My experience with the Pax Christi is overwhelming, given that I was trained to be a trainer, and out of Pax Christi, since I began training people there's a lot and tremendous change that has taken place. And in that, as a counselor and also psychologist, I work in school with the young people. It's a boys' school. I've been getting opportunities to reach out to the teachers to teach them about non-violence communication, given that knowledge I acquired from Pax Christi International. And I have seen a lot of change in the institution that I am, and many people that I have interacted with in the parishes and in other institutions. So I am so grateful for Pax Christi giving this opportunity that also has helped me to grow as a person. So what has been outstanding impact for me is the behavior change. Because given that also the Pax Christi is propagating issues of peace and non-violent communication, it has helped me mostly in also bringing this peace with myself and also in my own congregation to all the members, the people I'm living with in the community. I'm a leader of the community, and I've been able to listen to my sisters and also to be able to propagate that non-violence communication.
I am Sister Susan Maria, born from the Archdiocese of Mombasa. I am a member of the Sisters of the Immaculate Heart of Mary, Mother of Christ. Currently working in Mombasa in the Department of Pastoral. The Pax Christi, that is the Peace of Christ program, we have started it since 2021, where we had a program training for 1 week. We were impacted with knowledge about the peace of Christ and how we can preach active non-violence, especially among the youth. Why the youth? Because many people use the youth because they are vulnerable, so that they can manipulate them. They can torture the community through the youth. And it is through this youth we try to preach this gospel of active non-violence. In Mombasa, many youth are used by especially the government or the radicals in order to terrorize the community or the society. And after getting the training from the trainers of Pax Christi International, I focused meeting the youth at Kongoea, and majority of them comes from Kisauni, where you hear there are people who call themselves Wakari Kwanza, Wakari Wao, and these are people who terrorize many people. And after meeting many of these youth, especially in the church, we were able to journey together gradually, a period of 7 months with the youth. It was not easy because many of them were not ready for this peace of Christ. Some they did not understand. And the fact that it was during the time of election in the country, there were so many politicians who were using the youth, giving them very little money, 50 shillings. They cannot do anything, but they feel empowered to go and destroy. They destroy people, they destroy properties, just because they want to please their donors, the donors of 50 shillings. So with this program, I was able to meet these youth, and we were able to talk, to engage ourselves in discussions, not really teaching, but discussing on how can we live in peace as a community. Personally, we were able to understand that there is no development that can continue when there is no peace. So we had to, first of all, give peace to ourselves. And after introducing this peace to the youth, many of them embraced this peace, and they could live in unity among themselves, thus preaching peace to one another. And you could get from there, many were able to empower themselves, train or encourage others even to do the manual jobs in order to earn a living.
My recommendation to Pax Christi is that they have started very well. Let them not lag. They should continue, and they train even more religious sisters to continue with this work as they work in different fields. And the members who have already started, they continue so that they give complete packages to these people. And then when they go to train. As right now you hear them also in the school, the different tribes are meeting, no fighting. They look at themselves like brothers and sisters.
Myself, I would have loved if there could be an opportunity to continue extending this training, because we did it for 6 months, but still we didn't reach everyone. And at the same time, looking at the situation and the political issues that are happening in the country, in Kenya, there is still need to continue, going to people constantly talking about peace and not stopping because the elections ended. There are still many issues that are going on that are not settled, but with our presence, or with the Pax Christi presence, continuing to educate people, it will cool that temperature that is building up in the country day by day.